hope, help, and healing. With a hint of humor, Hashimoto'sHealing.com. And you're going to want to take notes for this. This is a technique that I recently learned, and it's something someone named Seth Ellsworth taught me. And what it is, really, is a very simple technique for installing habits and new thinking. And literally, you can do it in 5 minutes. And when he first explained this to me, I was like, yeah, this is a bunch of crap. I don't buy it. Because I like to pride myself being like the scientist. No, I got to be, I have to observe it, I have to form a theory, I have to test that theory, see if I'm right or wrong. I don't have a lot of faith in woo-woo stuff. Like muscle testing. I've seen some people do it really well, muscle testing. They're great at it. But mostly because I don't really believe it entirely, I stink at it. I'm not good. It's too subjective for me. It's just something I can't test independently. I can't tell if it's my thinking is affecting it or not, and probably it is. It's just too confusing for me. That's why I like blood tests. Even though I was just dissing them, they are really useful because with some things with blood tests, like iron, for example, if we get the iron up, we can see that, great, we're doing the right thing. If the iron goes down, we're not doing the right thing. Anyway, with this thing, I've already seen it work in my life in a number of ways. If I want to install a habit or some thinking, boom, I do it. It's part of me. It's totally amazing, this process. So I want to teach it to you because we're going to have plenty of opportunities to use it in this program, and it's great. Because that's what we're doing, really, here. We're installing new habits, and we want them to stick, right? We want them to become permanent, not be like there, and then we forgot about them 2 months down the road. They have to become part of us. Okay. So first, a little kind of background on this. Have you ever gone through something that just like changed everything? Like when I was a kid, my father died when I was 9, changed our lives, everything, from that day on, super transformation, that moment. This, hopefully we don't need that kind of tragedy here, but still, like that was a huge event that radically changed my life. And when the process of getting Hashimoto's was another example of that, right? I went through this thing, I had this big business, I shared, a bunch of times, sure you guys heard it. Put in hundreds of hours of blood, sweat, and tears, lots of money. We fought for it. We made some good money, put it back into it. Then the recession came, and it crashed, and it was so stressful, and it just wiped me out. And, I knew I had to make a change then, too. So this was a slower kind of change. I knew it in my mind. I have to have a different life, but I couldn't figure out what that different life was, and I didn't have any idea how I was going to get there. I've since learned some basic ingredients to this life. I have to eat a certain way, I have to meditate and pray, I have to take time for myself, have some fun for my family. And also in that process I found my mission in life, which is working with people with Hashimoto's, right? It's become my passion, my life purpose. And going through all that stress and difficulty made me realize that I really have to live every moment differently. It starts with these little things, these little habits that I do every day. And those little habits add up to a totally new life, and they add up to remission, add to slowing and stopping this progression. So I want to teach you this. And once you learn it, you can apply it anywhere in your life, create a new habit or a new thought process, and you can make it permanent. You make it stick, like that. This is Seth Ellsworth's I Am method. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. And there are 3 parts. I, which stands for identify identity. A, which stands for accept alignment. And M, which is multiply momentum. Okay? So let's go over each part. Now, the first part, I, identify identity. You have to first figure out what it is you want to be. Right? You want to select the identity that you want to become first. And you do this by asking 3 different questions. Who, what, and which. So who do you want to become? Make it a positive thing. Don't make it a negative thing. Make it positive. And make it just one thing each time, too. Okay? I don't want to do 500 things. One thing. You can do it again and again, apply it to different things, but choose one each time you do it. Right? So let's say, for example, you have trouble sleeping, right? Or you want to exercise. So I want to be someone who exercises 4 times a week. Or I want to be someone who remembers to call my friends. Sometimes I forget to call my friends. Whatever it is, I want to write in a journal. I want to eat gluten-free. I want to sleep well. Anything. But choose one. Then, think about, what does a person like that do? Right? Say it's sleep. Well, I sleep well. I sleep through the night. I don't wake up. Energy. I have abundant energy. I feel happy. Or I'm free of pain. What is that? What are those things? My blood tests are normal. Really get into the details. And the last one then is which. Which action do you want to focus on? Right? And also do remember, this has to be something that you want. Not what your husband wants, not what your mother wants, not what your kids want. What do you yourself want? And, what is that action? I eat gluten-free. I meditate every morning. I exercise 4 times a week. I feel gratitude every day. That's a great habit to put in. Okay, so right now I want you to just take a moment, write it down. What is that one thing? What is the one thing that comes to your mind? You can write it in the chat if you want to. And then think about, what does that person do? Really think about it. Feel it. Which actions does that person take? Eats well, sleeps well, doesn't do too much, get all stressed out. Okay, and the next step is the I am statement. This is accepting alignment. I, your full name, choose now to be something. So, I, Mark Ryan, choose now to be a person who sleeps through the night. Right? I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm not going to wake up 25 times. I just get a good night's sleep. Right? And break down these individual pieces. And I often try to choose, like, what's your biggest challenge? Again, I'm using sleep as an example. I want to sleep well. So, I, Mark Ryan, I'm going to sleep soundly and stay asleep all night long. I sleep well every night because that's who I am. Someone who sleeps at night. See? So you choose your statement and you think about breaking it into those discrete pieces. Now the third part is for when your doubts come creeping in, right? When your gremlins come back and interrupt you. When life interrupts, when you're challenged, when everything isn't perfect, you're being tested. So here's how we deal with that. Right? Because habit has to do with your identity. It's the choices you make, and it's your ability to remind yourself. So here, when the challenge comes up, when your gremlins are... You're saying, I don't believe this, it's silly, it's stupid, I'm not going to do it. But you do this, shrug your shoulders. And then you say out loud, talking about sleep, I sleep well. Just what I do. It's just who I am. Right? It's just what I do. It's just who I am. No big deal. Shrug, just believe it. Right? Have you ever observed championship athletes like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant? Right? These guys, they don't have to pretend. They just believe they're champions. It's not a question. It's like, that's just who they are. Even Kobe's on a terrible team now. He's still a champion. Watch him play. So that shrugging, that resets your brain. That makes it real. That makes it part of you. So don't leave that part out. And that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole technique. And you just repeat whenever it comes up. It's just who I am. I sleep through the night. Don't let fear or your negative self talk you out of it, okay? Shrug your shoulders whenever that stuff comes up. That's how you make it stick. It's just who I am. That makes it permanent. Okay, let's review the whole process. And there's a PDF in the member area, so you'll be able to download it and you can have that, put it on your computer, print it out. So remember again, the first part, identify your identity, who you want to be. I want to be someone who sleeps through the night. I want to be someone who eats gluten-free. I want to be someone who follows the autoimmune paleo diet. Who do you want to be in life? Then, what does that person do? And which one thing do you want to focus on? So choose what's the most pressing issue for you? You know what that issue is. Choose that one thing. The biggest obstacle. Is it diet? Is it the sleep? Is it depression? Which thing? Exercise? Meditating? Okay, I don't have time to meditate. Meditate. Choose that. And feel it. Really believe it. That's what's going to make it happen. So I, Mark Ryan, choose now to be someone who follows the diet to the letter. I, Mark Ryan, choose now to be a person who sleeps like a baby. I, Mark Ryan, choose now to be someone who is happy with myself. I, Mark Ryan, choose now to weigh my ideal weight. These are all examples. I follow the diet every day because that's who I am. I sleep well because that's just who I am. I'm happy with myself because that's who I am. I weigh my ideal weight because that's who I am. Then the last part, remember, when the doubts come up, when the gremlins come back, I follow the diet. Just what I do. I sleep well. It's just what I do. I'm happy with myself. It's just what I do. I weigh my ideal weight. Hey, it's just what I do. I have my Hashimoto's in remission. It's just what I do. Right? So you can apply this to anything. This is miraculous. I'm telling you, it really, really works. And some things are going to take time. You're going to have to repeat them over and over again. You know, if you have 40 pounds to lose, we're going to have to keep repeating this, but it's going to come off. Trust me, it will. It will happen. Just keep shrugging every time the doubt comes up. Just who I am. Just who I am. You know, the shrugging, that final statement, that makes it stick. That makes it permanent. When the resistance happens, when life beats you down, when you procrastinate, when you doubt yourself, it's just who I am. Shrug. I sleep well. It's just what I do. You know, that takes the pressure off. That takes the sting out of it. It stops all the negative self-talk. I don't know how it works, really. I don't know exactly how this works, but it totally does. I'm not fighting it anymore. It's just what I do. That's the most brilliant part of this whole method. It's just so simple. It blows me away. It's totally amazing. You have to try this, okay? Choose that one thing. Let's start with that. And then start to identify other things. We're going to be keeping a journal. We're going to talk about that in week 3. This is perfect for your journal. Write those things down. We're going to be revisiting this time and time again during this program. All right? Awesome. Okay. So I really want you guys to get this. This technique, I think, is critically important. So we're going to go to the Q&A now. There's another section of video that I recorded. It talks all about the brain, self-assessment, all this different stuff. I want you to check out that too for homework. But in some ways, I feel like this is more important. It's a simple thing, but I want you to really get it. I want you to be able to ask me questions. I want you to start using this right away. Like literally, this takes 5 minutes. So there's no reason why we can't start right away doing it. So now we're going to go to the live feed. You're going to be asking me questions. And you guys have questions about anything. So we can talk about anything. We're going to open it up. I'm Mark Ryan, licensed acupuncturist and herbalist. Hey, that's just who I am. Hashimoto'sHealing.com. Be good. Be kind. And remember to have compassion for everyone, including, that's just who I am, yourself. Hope, help, and healing. With a hint of humor, Hashimoto'sHealing.com.